Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Wildwoods Hungry Farms, and welcome everybody back to a new beekeeping live stream. And I hope everybody's having a good day today. And today we have a little bit of a different setup. Today I put my laptop a little bit more up, so Vincent's gonna be popping up all the questions, everything. So I won't be touching my computer, so I can just talk in this live stream. So we're kind of doing it different. So it'll be a little bit more easier on me to do things. I will still be looking kind of over here. You'll see my eyes go a different direction if you guys are curious, because most of the times I'm having to come down here and look at the stuff down there. So we made some adjustments there. So I hope everybody's having a good day today, and welcome back to another Wildwoods Beekeeping podcast or live stream, wherever you be watching this. During when it's live, or if you're watching on the replay. So I appreciate anybody who's viewing this live stream, whether it be now or on the replay. I really do appreciate it. Today we're just going to be talking a little bit about some late summer beekeeping tricks, tips, and let's just talk about some bees. Really, is what we're going to be doing tonight, and we are going to be taking questions. So please feel free to bring all your questions and make sure to share the stream out if you would, just to get more people to come out and talk tonight. At 7 p.m. Central. We do these every night. If you are curious, we do these almost every night. We skipped last week, and I will say that this upcoming Monday, Labor Day, we won't be doing a live stream that night since it's Labor Day. I figure people probably won't be, lairds want to, watch a live stream. So we figured we'd just do that, and we have plans too for that weekend on Labor Day. So we just figured we'd just do it tonight, and then next week we'll just kind of cancel it and take the night off. So that's our plan for the upcoming streams, and then hopefully this upcoming fall we'll have some more live streams. And I'm really excited for after we get into fall and that type of thing, and when we get into winter we'll get a lot more guests on once I have more time to do that. I haven't had much time. I've been busy in the bee yard. We'll get to that in a second. We've been busy out in the bee yard trying to make sure the bees are getting ready for winter. We're starting to feed now. We're actually starting to feed 1-to-1 sugar water with some Apis biologics. That's what I like to do. That's what I feed with. That's what I actually did today. I refilled the buckets because I needed to get some feed out there. And that's really what I did today. I kind of peeked in some of the hives and see how they were doing, and they're looking really nice. A lot of the bees are coming up nice and doing just fine. We do have some smaller colonies. That's why I'm feeding. Try to kind of get them to kind of start growing up. I'm getting a little bit more built up, getting the queens a little bit more stimulated to lay, as we've talked about before on the channel. And that's really what we've been up to so far. Lately we've just been kind of getting on our on the roll of feeding. That's something that we've been doing lately. A lot of people are not feeding right now, I'm sure. A lot of people are just kind of going through it all and kind of hoping to get into fall here soon. We'll be getting to fall here soon. Fall has been kind of tricking us a little bit. We don't know if it's fall. It feels like fall sometimes, and then we're back into warm, hot temperatures. Today it was nice, a very, very nice day. I really don't remember exactly what day it was, but one of these days it was really nice. It felt really nice. It wasn't hot. It also wasn't cold. So that's where we're at on temperatures. We're just kind of iffy, but we will be getting into fall before we know it, and then most beekeepers will start feeding them. But I've been feeding now, even because we're on late August, August 26th, and right now I figured, hey, what about just go on and start feeding? Let me get a early start on these bees. Let's go on and get them built up, right? It's always good to go and get an early start. That's what I kind of wanted to do. Get on them early to start building them up. That was my initial plan, and it's still going good. And we are around 10 colonies. Bees are doing well. All the hives we have brood. They all have queens. They're all mated, and they are all pretty healthy. We do have two smaller nukes that do need to be growing a little bit more to be able to get through the winter. So, but we still have a lot of time left. I still have a lot of time left to get these bees built up, and they're really looking nice. The um let's see here. Which was it? It was one of the cutouts that I did. It was under a trailer. That hive is doing really good. At first, when I got them, I put a frame brood in there to try to give them a little bit more bees in there. And when those bees hatched, they killed the original queen. So what I had to do was I had to let them build a new queen, and it basically take a while, but they were able to make a queen, and that queen's laying really, really good, and that colony is doing really well. So that colony is doing really well. All right, Ron Alley says, "Have you harvested all of your honey for this season? If so, what was your yield?" A great question. I think we're done for this season. You never know. Fall may come back. We might have some blooming, but I'm in the stage of feeding, getting our bees ready up for winter. I need to get some mite treatments. I have some stuff that's in my cart. I haven't yet got it. I haven't put my foot on the pedal yet, but I'm gonna be doing that in the next couple of weeks. At least before October. We still have a lot of time left. But I'm just getting a head start on feeding. Was really the main. This has really been the main goal this month, was really to feed and get these bees built up, because I found that when I started to feed one colony that was doing very poorly, when I started feeding, that colony looked really nice. It's doing really well today. They are doing much better than they were before, and that really helped my colony. That colony. But I didn't answer the question all the way. But my yield, it was about like 7.5 gallons of honey, so we did pretty well. I'm not lying, we did pretty well. A decent margin of honey. Of course, it wasn't a lot. I thought we might get like 20 pounds of honey, 20 gallons of honey, but we ended up getting about 7.5 gallons of honey, and I'm fine with that. We have enough honey right now, so that's gonna give us enough to sell and keep. Put some on toast and sell some locally. Gunline Bees, Tim and Hannah, thank you guys for checking in. How's the goldenrod looking over y'all's way? Is it blooming yet? Well, that's a good question, and I'm glad you asked. Well, we were at the river. We have a little river place on the Alabama River. If you guys don't know, most of you probably have heard me say that a time or two. Plan on putting some bees up there. But anyway, we're kind of I was riding around, and I actually did see some goldenrod blooming there on the sides. It was some nice blooms, and it was blooming. Here, I guess I haven't really been keeping up really too much, if I gotta be honest. I haven't been really looking. I'm gonna start looking. I'm sure we do, but a little bit north of us, an hour 30 north of us, where the river's at, a lot of goldenrod is blooming, or it is starting to bloom. So in the next week, it'll probably be in full bloom here. If anybody's wondering, it's gonna be in full bloom, and we will be having a probably decent goldenrod flow. I have been feeding late, since it's late summer. It's not fall yet. I wish it was. But you know what? It'll be here before we know it. But the thing is, fall is a really nice time of the year. But the thing is about fall is we have to go into winter. That's all beekeepers, most of beekeepers' nightmare, going into fall. I mean, a winter. But that's why I'm trying to go on and feed, because I know fall's right around the corner. We're going to be right there before we know it. Fall will be here, and we'll have winter next up. Winter will be up next. So we're going to have to be getting ready for winter. But yes, the goldenrod is blooming. What about you? How's it going down y'all's way? I know y'all are a little more south of Mobile, somewhere around that area. How's y'all's goldenrod doing? Let's go through the comments. Who's here? We have Ron. We have Flower Street Farm Bees, Brian. Good to see you. Russell. Thank you guys for checking in. A lot of people in here tonight so far. Tim Sanders. I think that's about all. I have to go on my computer to see. Yep, that's it. Yep. Thank you guys for checking in tonight. I see DC's Bees. Good evening, DC. Thank you for checking in. Good to see you. It's everywhere, but nothing blooming yet. I actually did see some blooming. It was actually blooming. Let's see if I don't know if I have a photo. I hope I did. I think I got a photo. Here we go. Let's see. You see that, y'all? See that little piece of goldenrod right there? Hey, James. Good to see you, James. Tell me if you guys can see it. It's pretty blurry, but that's some goldenrod right there. It's really hard to see, but we do have some goldenrod right there. It's blooming. 13 people in here. Hey, guys. Good to see you. But we do have goldenrod blooming here. I don't know about anybody else, but Brian, I went through 10 colonies this morning, then took a nap. All looked good and got Appar Tablets. Good deal. I've heard about those Appar Tablets before. At some point I'll have to look into them, but I've heard of them before. I plan on trying to get some Apgar, like the little casings that you put in there. I plan on getting those Apgar little things. I don't know exactly what what exactly what you call them, and of course it's Apgar, but it's a little different. So last time I got like a 4-pack. I think it was like a 4 or 8-pack or something like that. You just kind of squeeze it and put it on a little tray, and in there. But this time it's just already in like a little basic little tray. It's not like where you have to do it yourself. It's already in there. You just open it, put it on the top. I'm gonna have to go back on a video. I really don't use Apgar that much. I've never really used that. I've used it a little bit, but I just haven't used it much. I don't know some of the basic stuff. I gotta look up some of that because I've mainly used Apvar the last times I've treated, but I really need to kind of do some different stuff and test some different stuff and see what it might do to help me more than Apvar might. You never know. Some things might work better than others because I know a lot of people have a lot of people or should I say mites, can grow venerable. Let's see. Oh, sorry, the comments distracted me for a second. Here, pop up some comments so I can look at all of them. Can you tell us about your experience with the local news? Yes, I guess I can. Well, if you guys don't know, I actually did do a post about it on my community page. A lot of you guys probably saw it, and some of you might have not. But some WSFA, our local news channel, came out and did a little story about our beekeeping stuff. So all you got to do, if you want to see it, I'll try to put it in our comment section. I'll try to get Vincent. Maybe Vincent can do that. Or you can go to our community page after the live stream. But they did come out and they did like a little story / interview and kind of took some footage of the bees and put it all together. It was really interesting and pretty cool that they did. They did a good job. So make sure to go check that out. That was pretty cool. WSFA 12, our local news here in Alabama. Yeah, there you go. You got the link right there in the comment section. So just click that. And you can look at it after the live stream if you want to go back, because we'll have the replay. You'll be able to see you'll be able to see it still. Hey Richard, good to see you in there. Hey Mary, good to see you in here too. Thank you for checking in. DC, I have nectar derf. That's fun. Yep, I get you. I do know we do have a probably some type of derf. I know there's some pollen coming in. I do know that, but I had some all the buckets out, and a little bit of it spilt, and bees kind of got on it. And when I'm setting out my 1 gallon 1-to-1 sugar water when I'm feeding, because I'm early feeding right now. If you didn't catch early of the live stream, I've been kind of feeding early, kind of what Bob Benny does. And I, there's some bees all around the side. Either way, that's kind of how it always goes. The bees would go on the side and get some of the nectar that kind of spills out from the side going into the top of the thing. Oh, my Mac's about to be low on battery. I don't have my charger here, so give me just a second. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. Sorry about that. Vincent, can you please turn off the music real quick? Thank you all for waiting. Sorry, I had to um get my charger because my Mac's about to die. I don't want to lose y'all on here, but we are. I guess we're still in the turf. I don't know. You guys can tell me what's going on in your bee yards, folks, because I don't know what's going on in all y'all's. I just know in mine, bees are going around the side. Because sometimes whenever there's water or rain going from the side and all around, and that little bit of that sugar water we get right there, bees will go over there and get that. So, but I sometimes I see that all the time, even maybe if there isn't a dearth and there's a lot of things out there, bees will still do that. So I don't know if that's a fair estimate to say that, but I just know that we probably still are in a dearth, but we do see some goldenrod blooming. We have some purple loose trife, I guess that's how you say it, goldenrod, and some late soybeans blooming in southeast Michigan. Well, that's good. You could see some goldenrod and some soybeans blooming and some of that stuff that's in your local area. That's pretty good. So good job there. Let's see. Hey, Russell. But that's kind of where we're at right now in terms of what we're doing for our bees and everything. We watching Grayson's news and interview right now. Great job, buddy, on the interview. Thank you, Tim. I'm glad you like it. It was actually pretty interesting and pretty cool the way they did that. I was, when I watched it, it was pretty cool. It came on Friday night. I think it was last Friday. Yep, that's right. It was last Friday. Not this Friday, but the Friday before that. So that was something that was really interesting. Yeah. And let's see, Ron Newsom. Hey, how are you? I'm doing good. Thank you for checking in. Ron, now that you're a TV celebrity, have you had more queen bees interested in you? Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Oh, I guess my queens in the bee yard have been, but um, now when we're talking about queens, that actually got me in an interesting subject. My queens are actually doing pretty good, and yeah, that's pretty funny there, Ron. Good job there. But the here, so can you pop that down so people can see my face? There we go. My queens are doing pretty good in the bee yard. On a real note, and that's something else I've actually been trying to do. Is trying to make sure my queens are nice and healthy. I want my bees and my queens healthy, and all my queens are laying some really nice brood patterns, really nice, and I'm really happy with what they're doing now, and I'm really happy with what my bees are doing now. I'm really happy with the way my bees are producing more bees and keep growing. And a lot of my hives, man, they're strong as can be. It's just unbelievable. All my bees are doing really well. And like I said earlier, I do have two nukes that are kind of not as strong as the others. But they still need to be. I can still feed them, keep feeding them, and then I'll be good. Peabody's Apiary, good to see you. Thank you for checking in. And how many are you up to now? Let's see. I think I have about 10 right now. I have about 10 colonies right now. 10 nice colonies. They're doing really well. They're doing very most of them are really strong. And the ones that are a little bit smaller, they're still building up really nice. They're building up really nice, and that's what we want this time of year. We want bees to start building up. That's kind of what I've been wanting to do, is get my queens. I need to that's what I've been doing, stimulating my queens to start laying, get that brood in there, and then let that brood hatch, and we'll have some nice bees. And one of my colonies I looked into, each frame full of bees, like 5, 6, 7 frames. Most of all my strong colonies have about 6 to 8 to 9 full frames of bees, and that's all we need for a winter cluster. We probably don't even need that many. I had a cluster that went in the winter and had like 4 frames of bees, maybe 3 frames of bees, and it went through. So I kind of want like 6 the 5 frames of bees going in the winter, a good cluster on those 5 frames, feed them. That's all I ask for going in the winter. That's what I've asked of myself to try to get my bees up to. Let's see, Ron. My bees for some reason have gotten a little mean and don't want anyone near the hive. You think it's the weather stressing them out? Well, you're right. You're there. It's probably it could be. It depends on how bad of weather you have. Now it depends on a couple things. Have your bees always been like that? If your bees have always been like that, it's probably not because of the weather. But we also got to think sometimes we may go into a hive and maybe kind of cranky because the other night, that night right before you got into the hives, maybe a raccoon, or if you're in bear country, a bear came over there and kind of messed with them, but didn't yet destroy the colonies, and they're just kind of cranky and mad. You got to take that into account. But if they've always been like that, it might be just the genetics themselves. That's what I think. You just got to take those into consideration. If your bees have always been that mean before, probably the queen and your genetics. If they haven't been like that and they just all of a sudden got kind of cranky and mean, probably means something either messed with them or your bad weather, which can also make them mad, or a queen issue. Oh no, they have always been super friendly. The hive is protect space, nothing gets near them. So it could always be a queen issue too, as Richard said there. There's a lot of different things. Sometimes whenever they have a queen issue, they can kind of get a little bit more spicy. Now, if your queen's laying great, probably not a queen issue. If she looks good and everything's going well. But it could be bad weather, or it could probably really could be bad weather if you've had a lot of bad weather. It really could be. Ron Alley, I have 2 strong hives, 40 to 50K, and we use a lot of peppermint patties in the hive. We had less than 20 small hive beetles in each every time we checked. How was your small hive beetle this year? Well, they weren't as bad, but whenever I open the colonies, some of my colonies, I do see some beetles in there. I do see beetles. They are annoying, but from what we had last year, I say what we have now as not too much of a problem. Now we do gotta watch it and make sure that they don't become a big problem. But right now, it just hasn't been a problem. It hasn't been much of a issue for me this year as it was last year, because last year we had a lot of struggling colonies, and those struggling colonies um opened up a space for small hive beetles to come in there and pretty much lay all their larvae and be messy. Because I'll tell you this: last year I went into a colony. It was a nice queen. A couple days before I checked them, great colony. And then when I checked back, beetles everywhere. All on the frames. There's no bees. All the bees were kind of more on the side, trying to stay off of the beetles, and all the frames are just ruined. The queen was in there. So what I did was I took all the bees out, shook them in a box, and left them in that box, and put some other drawn frames in there to hopefully help them out. But what happened was I came back about an hour or two later. They absconded, so they're gone. So that's unfortunate that happened, but it was a bad beetle problem last year. This year it hasn't been as bad, so I am thankful for that. Lots of drones at the opening. That must mean your colony is very strong and very healthy, because the only time whenever bees will raise drones is whenever their colony is nice and strong, or sometimes because actually have a colony right now that is actually producing some drones. A lot of my hives kicked out all their drones. There's not as many drones as there were in the early years, so that's kind of normal for the time, because we're getting more into fall. Fall's the time where they start kicking them out, and I'm kind of seeing some of that, because I don't see as many drones in the colonies. I see more workers and just the queen in there more than I see drones as I did earlier in the year. If you guys have any more questions, please put them in there. Feel free to ask any question, if it's whether it be a question about how the colonies are doing, or if it's something about what you want to know. Please feel free to put it in there. And let's see, I think that's pretty much really everything that's been going on around here in the bee yard. It's not as much stuff going on. I've been kind of keeping up with the queens, with the workers, and with the colonies themselves, making sure we're nice and strong. It's kind of what I've been kind of keeping up with. But they're all nice and strong. And late summer, we've just it's on the brink of getting into fall, so we're looking forward to that. But getting past these, a couple more weeks of summer, then we'll be kind of in fall, and that's when more people will start feeding. But I'm feeding right now at the time being. I'm actually feeding some 1-to-1, maybe even less than that. Sometimes I'll do like 3 cups water to 1 cup sugar, in a 1 gallon bucket. But I really don't measure it or anything. I just kind of I eyeball it and see kind of what fits what I kind of want it to be. Today I refilled some of the buckets because I've gone through like 3 rounds of feeding so far. But I plan on keep on filling them up. Have you performed a mite count yet? Not yet, but I need to in some of my colonies. I'm not going to do all of them. The ones that are smaller, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to accidentally take too many bees out of there because they need all the workforce they can get basically. But the ones that are nice and strong, we'll do a little mite test and see kind of how many mites are in there. But pretty much I'll probably need to treat all of them. I haven't treated them all year this year. I really do need to put some treatments in there, but I will be testing here soon, and I will give a update on how that goes. Um, but we definitely do need to test, treat, and test. If we're able to, which I believe we will be able to do that. Which I believe we will. My pond is almost dry. Your pond's almost dry. I get you. We haven't had a lot of rain lately. We had a little bit of rain not too long ago. It was a good bit of rain, but then that just washed away pretty quick. We haven't had much rain around here over here by the bee yard. But definitely a lot of people are not having much rain, and I guess that's kind of how it's going to be for a while. Um, that's kind of what I can get you, but it's really dry around here. It's really really dry, and I'll probably we do have some water too for the bees to go get. I see bees go and try to get, but it hasn't been as hot, so that might be a plus too that it hasn't been as hot as it has been. But of course, we're not on fall by any means. We're not on fall, but we're just a little bit more. We're not as hot as it's been in the past. Couple of months. It hasn't been as hot, but it's still pretty decently hot. You know what? If you guys don't know, I usually will kind of tell you guys the temperature. So let's just look at them because I'm not really. I haven't really kept up with stuff like that. I'll just kind of go through an overview of what we're seeing. Let me know what y'all's is. So, last week it really was cooler, but hot temperature, like I forgot to mention, is supposed to be coming back. So, like today, the high was like 96, but like the humidity has been much lower, so that's been a really plus on our side. Tuesday, which is tomorrow, it's gonna be 97. Wednesday is gonna be 98. So there we go. We get more hotter temperatures. Thursday 98, Friday 97, Saturday 96, and then it says Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and all these other weeks is supposed to be getting some more rain. So thankfully we will be getting a little bit more rain. It looks like a good bit of it. But Friday, Saturday, will be in the 90s, and then next week Wednesday will be in the low 90s. So kind of what we're looking at on temperatures. It's supposed to get a little bit more hot this week, but not as much humidity. I don't think as much humidity, not as much humidity as it has been. Because humidity, once you have more humidity, that's really another thing that really makes it feel even more hotter. Ron, I'm blessed with 2 springs, one on my property and another about a mite away that run your around. And another about a mite away. I get you. That run year around even during droughts. I get you. Good. Feel free to um um Yeah, Vincent, you can. Um, but I believe we'll have a hopefully a good fall flow. I hope so. Maybe we will. And like I was saying, feel free to ask any more questions. If you do, we'll go about 30 more minutes, and then we'll go on and end us off. Um, and kind of just kind of settle down for tonight, and then we'll be um back hopefully the week after next. I got to get more guests lined up. I really like having guests on. I don't do as many live streams by myself as I have in the past. But I'm continuing. I really want to get on a base where I can do it every Monday, so then I can have people know I'm gonna be going live every Monday night. But sometimes I'm just not able to all the time. But here soon we'll be able to get on a good little base, and we'll be able to start doing them more often. As you guys know, I haven't been doing them as often as I used to, which is okay. Sometimes I'm just not able to do them all the time, and I'm sure a lot of you understand that too. I will say I haven't also done a video for a while. There probably won't be a video this week, but there might be. I don't know. I'll try to get out to the BR and try to get some little video done for you guys, but there might not be a video since we do have a busy week this week. But I do want to do this. I wanted to do this live stream so I can answer some questions and stuff and have a good little live stream. So then I wouldn't be, if I end up not uploading a video, I won't be completely not having anything out there for people to watch this week, whether you be watching this podcast right now or um afterwards, whenever you have the time to watch it. And if you're joining in late, feel free to go back and watch it again. It's always a good thing there to watch it if you haven't been able to fully watch it from the start. Let's see. Uh, do feel free to ask any questions if you have any. Please do feel free to ask anything that you probably, if you guys have a question, of course. Now, like I said, that's pretty much it. What's going on? Watch this live stream if you want to rewatch it. If you maybe came in late or something, you can always rewatch it if you want to. If you missed something that might be somewhat valuable. Um, but this week, like I said, earlier, I don't think I'm gonna be uploading video. I don't know. Um, I might, if I have enough time to get out to the BR and film one and edit it, because there's a lot of work that goes into that. You got to, number one, film it, get a good idea, film it, edit it, put it on YouTube, and then I have to make the thumbnails and all this different stuff that does lead up to a good video to maybe get some people to be able to watch it. Sometimes that's what you have to do to get your video out there. And this week, if I end up not uploading a video, I actually did have a good live stream last week. Not last Monday, but the Monday after that, the 12th. Great live stream with Dr. Cameron Jack. It was a really good live stream. I very highly suggest checking that out if you haven't already. It was a good live stream. I actually really did enjoy it. It was pretty fun. And I think a lot of people, we mainly really talked about like mites and stuff, beetles, mites, and stuff like that. It's really what we kind of got onto. It was a good live stream. Talked about treatments, mites, how we're going to treat for mites, a lot of that type of stuff. Oxalic acid, which a lot of people like to talk about and like to know and play with. I really do need to do that one day. Try to get some oxalic acid. That'd be something to look into. Now, once you're checking in, make sure to go on and click that thumbs up button. It's free and easy to do. I'd really appreciate it if you'd click that thumbs up button. I would really appreciate it. And thank you all for checking in. Checking in and watching tonight. Run to make it also be a skunk coons. Yep, that's exactly what I said earlier. What you're talking about bees being a little bit more cranky than they usually are. It could be a skunk or a raccoons coming up to your hive and messing with them and getting them a little bit more agitated, and then you're going in the next day and they're mad. That could be a good reason, but we really don't know. It's really hard to say, but it's probably something that probably happened. If you have seen, that's something that I've talked about before, and something that definitely probably is the case. But we do got a treat for mites here soon. That's something that's been on my mind for a while. Is trying to get some mite treatments and getting onto the mites. That's been something on my mind that I've been wanting to get done, and get some mite treatments. Probably from Man Lake. It's kind of where I've always got my beekeeping equipment, and that's probably about it for mites. Go on and treat them. Keep feeding till about we get into about the cold weather. Then we'll probably switch off and put on some candy boards. I plan on trying to make some more candy boards this year that are much better and that are a little bit more durable, because my other ones aren't really much durable, and they're really like whenever you put it in there, it leaks from the sides too. So that's something that we really do need to improve on. My plan to do is have a candy board, wooden one, much better, much better design, hopefully. And then in the inside, I'll put some tinfoil and make sure to snap it together with like a staple gun. I hope that's what I can't remember exactly what I'd use, but staple it on there. Make sure there's small staples. I don't want it going through the wood, of course. And then put our candy in there, so then it won't leak. It'll be on the tinfoil. That's my plan for my next candy board. That will be a little much more durable and much better design. Because if you guys watch the other design, it's okay. It works good enough to feed them. I'll probably still use it. I'll probably end up using it, but it's just not as good as some other ones that might be on the market. But I kind of want to make my own. Might be a little bit more cheaper, maybe, and I might be able to make more. I can get like a good piece of wood, long one, maybe 2 or 3 for like $50 or something. That's kind of what they're kind of going for now. I have to get the roof part. Let's just even it about to about $80. But like I have seen some candy boards that each one goes for $40. Just one candy board, the board itself, or like $30, and add that up by like 10 or 8. That's a good bit of money. So I can save a good bit just making them if I'm doing my math correctly. I'm just kind of evening it out. It's probably about 100 for the materials, and I have them forever, so that's something else. And it's a little bit more cheaper, and I probably can make a decent design. So we'll see how that goes. I might be able to get to that if I can get to it, because sometimes I say things and unfortunately I sometimes never get them done because I'm busy or I forgot that idea. But my duck pond works great for the bees. Yep, ponds, whatever you have that might be out there for your bees, really good spots for the bees to go and get some water, especially if it's hot. If it's hot like it is going to be this week, the bees definitely need some water. So, if you don't have a pond nearby or something like that, make sure to go and get yourself like a bird bath, or if you have a bird bath, just put some water in there, and hopefully bees can find that. We have some spots where there's always water at, and the bees are accustomed to going there and getting that water. I need to put some water in the bird bath too to give them another option, but they already have a spot where they have it all figured out where they want to go and get it. Since fall is approaching, do y'all make your own pollen patties or buy them already made? Good question. I haven't used pollen patties for a while, honestly. The ones that you can already make, or even ones that you just scoop up and kind of roll it in there. I haven't used those lately. No specific reason, just because I just haven't had time to get them. What I've done is I've just been using like candy boards is what I've also used. But if I don't have enough boards, what I'll do is I'll just make up a quick brick or type pollen patty. I do want to look up a recipe to try to make up my own pollen patty if I want to kind of test it out and see how it would work, because I believe I could probably do it. but I just don't use pollen patties, any types for a while. I've used them before, and they work okay, but I feed in fall. That's what I've kind of done. It's done okay. This year we're gonna see, since I got more stronger bees, what I can do. Last year I had a lot of weak bees, and I wasn't really organized. I wasn't organized. Right now, I believe I'm a little bit more organized than I was last year. Much more organized, and I'm kind of in a spot, kind of where knowing what I need to do. Last year was just like, what do I do? What do I do? Like, what should I do, and what do I have to do? And it's just kind of tricky. It was a tricky place for me to be in. I just didn't know exactly what I needed to do and what I should have done, and I didn't do some of those things that maybe I should have done. But this year I feel a bit more organized. I got my bee yard clean. If we're talking about that type of organized too, we need to be that organized. And two types of organized. One where I know what I need to do. I have a checklist in my head what I need to do. Treat, feed, do a couple tests, and that's pretty much it. Make sure my bees are strong. Make sure they're healthy. Make sure they're growing. And that's really what I need. What I've some basic things that I'm working on. Pretty much all my hives are nice and strong. They have a good queen. They got decent clusters. Each colony has about 5 to 9 frames of bees fooled up on it, and even if it's like 5 going in the winter, that's your cluster. That's your cluster. That's a good cluster. Having good 5 frames of bees on your cluster, right in the middle, have a candy board on top or a brick. That's the best thing to do. We're gonna see how it goes this year and see what I can do to improve on going into winter. It's always been my weakness. It's been my weakness for a while. A lot of times I go in the winter and I come out of winter with 1 hive, 0 colonies, or 3 colonies, or whatever. We'll see how we do this year and make sure we overwinter all of them. That's what I want to do. Because I remember one year, I'll never forget it. I had a whole bunch of colonies, but they all went down so quick before I knew it. One colony, I can't remember all of them, but one colony got so weak, and there's only it was like a deep, and then a super. The bees were up there in the super. I thought they were up there in the super and the 2 deeps, but it ended up being the 2 deeps were empty, no bees in there whatsoever. They were just in the top super, clinging on. They were just barely clinging on, and I didn't do anything about that, and they unfortunately didn't make it. And same with a couple other colonies too. And then, whenever another colony, had a queen cell, they lost their queen. I forgot. I think it was during winter, so basically, there's no way of that colony making a new queen. So that colony didn't make it either. I think I had a couple colonies, and then my final colony. It was really strong too. It was really strong, really healthy, really nice looking colony. They were doing pretty decent. Coming out of the winter, they were looking very strong, but then they ended up coming out of the winter and they didn't make it. I think it was because of mites. So that was 1 year. Last year, all my colonies going in the winter, most of them were weak except for one, and all of them didn't make it except for the one that was very strong. So that's unfortunate, but so Ron, when I use pollen patties, I cut them into 1-inch squares because this exposes more edge, and the bees eat the patties quicker. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll have to remember that. So if I get some pollen patties, I'll remember that. I'll come back to this live stream and I'll make sure to read the comment, because I probably won't be able to remember it forever, but I'll be able to come back and do that. That's the thing I also like to do on my live streams, is to leave the chat replays in there so I can go back and look at stuff that I might have forgotten and see what I say in live streams. That's and what people say, so I can go back and look. That's kind of why I keep. It's kind of why I keep, the chat replays on there if you're watching my live streams. Let's see. Please feel free to leave any questions in there. Feel free to do that. There we go. Let me turn that up a little bit. Feel free to put any more questions. We about got 14 more minutes of the live stream left, I would appreciate if you'd go on and click that thumbs up button. Share the live stream out. We'll go about 14 more minutes ish. Please share the stream out if you will, and go on and click that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. And if you're new here, go on and subscribe because we're at like 1,600 and like 63. I think that's where we're at. Let me look. 2,063, actually 2,064 subscribers. So we're doing pretty well. We're at 2,000 subscribers. So we're continuing to grow, but a little bit more slower. On our way to 2,000, we went pretty fast. It was unbelievable how fast we went. I plan on keep on doing that. A lot of that, I will say, was from shorts. That a lot of shorts carried me to that number, but those shorts, some of them do gain some people who watch the channel. I will say, most of the times they subscribe, they never watch. But I do see some of the viewers who check in on the shorts do subscribe, and then they continue watching videos. I have seen that, so sometimes that does help, things. But I do want to gain subscribers that will, continue watching. So that's something else I look onto. And the thing is, I haven't been as active in the past couple of days lately. I will say I released like 3 or 2 shorts during the weekend, and that's about it. That's really all I really did. And other than that, tonight is really the only other thing I've really done. Everything's going well. If people wonder why I haven't been on YouTube much, I've just been really busy and really doing stuff. It's just been a little bit more busier than normal. So, but hey, Egon, I see some more folks are joining in. I know a lot of times a little bit more later into the live streams, more people check in. So it's good to see y'all. One day I might try to see and like experiment with maybe trying my live streams out like 7:30, 8:30 or something. See how people react to that. Egon, let's see. How was your busy flow here in Utah? I did not have any luck. Now I'm trying to prepare for next year. Yeah, I get you. Our flow was pretty decent. It wasn't the biggest thing ever. I will say it really wasn't the biggest thing, but it was actually the most honey I've actually had. Honestly, the most honey I've extracted, 7.5 gallons of honey. Now compared to a lot of other people, that's probably nothing. Like compared to like Bruce down there and Dauphin, he got a lot of honey. It was unbelievable how much honey he got. But compared to his operation, probably what mine wasn't a lot. But out of 10 colonies, I'll say that's pretty good. I'll say that's decent. But our flow is good. Down there in Utah, I'm sorry to hear that you didn't have much luck. Hopefully, you have a good winter. Last year, I will say I had struggles too. It was hard last year. This year hasn't been as bad. Last year was just a pain. It was struggle. I was struggling all year. At that time, I don't think I was realizing it. Honestly, looking back at it, I knew I was struggling. But looking back to it, and when I was in the moment, I guess I don't think I was really worried about it. I don't think that's something that I never noticed that I was in a problem, but until afterwards when I see I was up at like 16, 17 colonies, most of them queenless. And I did 2 small splits, and a lot of those colonies didn't make it, unfortunately. This year, just gotta be a little bit more smarter about my decisions of the bees and continue on. Please go and click that thumbs up button when you're checking in. I really appreciate it. And I know a lot of you guys already came in late, so if you feel free to watch it again if you'd like. If you weren't able to see all of it, it probably was kind of kind of boring, but you might find something in there. I've just really been talking about what I'm doing now. Oh, hey Keith, good to see you. No worries. Um, being late or anything. I haven't really been doing them as much, so a lot of people just don't know. That's kind of something that I've been able to do. I haven't really been able to stay on a good roll, like a good thing, where I can go week and week. But sometimes I take breaks. But thing is, there was one time where I went 4 weeks without a live stream. That was during July. I just for some reason I didn't get like a reason why I wanted to go on live. But tonight I really wanted to to go live tonight. I just felt like I really wanted to. And once we get more into winter, I'll have much more guests on. We'll have much more people coming in and joining the chat. So get ready for upcoming time of the live streams. We will be getting more on the roll. But this summer, we had a good summer. And we do homeschool if a lot of you guys don't know. So we haven't started just yet. We usually start Labor Day. So we're able to do when we need to, and we're able to do these live streams at not at 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, stuff like that. Summer's been good. I've just been really busy during summer. And on Mondays, I just never got started going on a live stream. I decided, man, I'd skip it tonight. I'll do it next week, and I kept on doing that until I actually got back starting the week before last, whenever we had Dr. Cameron Jack on. After this live stream, in about 8 minutes, make sure to check out that live stream if you haven't already. It was a good live stream. And when you're in here, go on and click the thumbs up button if you would. Egon, how many hives are you at now? I'm at, let's see, I'm at around 10 colonies right now. 10 colonies right there on the dot. I think that's exactly where I'm at. 10 colonies. They're all doing pretty well. They're strong. Most of them are strong. Some of them are not as strong as the others, but they're getting there. They're getting there. Give them some time to continue to grow and keep feeding. Feed. Exactly. I'm doing exactly what Bob Benny did. Exactly what Bob Benny did. What he's doing and what I've heard him say in the past was he feeds early, and then when you go in the winter, they'll have enough. So I'll probably still feed during winter just for in case, but they should be packed full of bees going into winter and have enough food in there too. Is the swarm that was building on the bottom of that box doing okay? Yeah, I'm glad you asked. That colony is kind of smaller. They are doing good. But they are smaller. They're smaller. So I've been contemplating if I should put a frame of brood in there. So here's one thing I do want to ask you guys before we check out. They're just a little bit more smaller, but they have brood in there. Should I go to another colony and put a frame of brood in there? Should I take a frame of brood, put it in there, and maybe help them out? The reason why I'm contemplating on that is because in the past on one of my colonies, whenever I put a frame of brood in there, those bees hatched out and killed the queen. And it happened two times in a row when I did it. One time I did it. Next time let me backtrack. The first time I figured maybe the queen was just bad and they just killed it because it needed to go. They needed to say bye-bye to it. But then the next time it happened again. So I think it was just because those bees killed those queens, even though they were young bees. So this colony is a little bit more smaller. I never put a frame of brood in there. Should I put a frame of brood in there just to give them a little bit more of a head start? I want to hear you guys' opinion on that. Excuse me. Let's see. Egon, how do you feel about plastic frames versus wood frames? Well, that's a good question. No, I don't have any plastic frames except for the drone frames that I have. And some of them are drawn out, some of them are not. I gotta re-wax some of them. Then I do have wooden frames. I really like wooden frames. All of my frames are wooden with some foundation in there. Some foundation. That's kind of what I've always ran, and that's what that's what I'm doing now. And that's kind of what I'm thinking to do. But plastic frames, I'm sure they're pretty good. But I've always used wooden frames. I've never bought regular frames that are all plastic that are for the worker cells. I've just got them for the brood cells. The drone cells. The green drone comb. That's what I've used. I'm sure you guys know kind of what I mean. But that's what it's doing. It's doing pretty good. I'm thinking I'll probably I'll just go on and put a frame in there. Get them a little bit more bees in there. I just gotta, you know what I think I may do, guys, to really do it. Here, let me read this and I'll say my idea. Ron, yes, I wouldn't. I make sure there are no queen or drone cells and shake off about half of the nurse bees. Then put the frame into your hive into the hive you're wanting to help. I get you. I'll use that. Another thing I may do, just in case, I may try to cage my queen and put a frame or two of brood in there and let them hatch. And then I'll leave that little that queen cage in there with the queen in there, and whenever they get used to her, I'll let them eat their way out. I think that's good. I think that's another thing I'm gonna do, and I'm also gonna do what Ron said as a recommendation. I'm gonna say add a frame of brood, but if they kill the queen, blame Hannah. Don't worry, I'll remember that. I know. I'm thinking I'm gonna add a frame in there. I really need to do that to try to build up this colony. I'm really gonna have to do that. Caging the queen sounds great too. That's what I was thinking. Because I remember those 2 times when I did that, and I was like, what can I do? What can I do? And I was like, that's right, maybe I can just cage the queen as a in case type thing and kind of treat it as a way of just trying to introduce a queen, even though I'm not going to be introducing a queen. It's really a queen that's been in the colony for a little while, but introducing that queen to those bees, right? I'll add that frame of brood, put her in a cage when they have already some brood in there, and raise their numbers up. That's really the main thing I need to do. Raise those numbers up. But the other colony that I'm saying that's a little bit more smaller, they're actually doing really good. I don't need to add a frame of brood in there. We have 30 frames of good brood in there, and bees keep hatching. They're doing really well. I don't need to do anything with them. I only have one colony right now that I'm actually kind of really like. I think probably couldn't survive the winter right now if we went into winter, but we still have a lot of time left. So I have a good bit of time left to go on and do some stuff that I need, and they'll be ready. I believe they'll be ready whenever I need them to be. Well, we're at 8 o'clock. I guess we will try to start wrapping things up. Thank you guys for checking in. Our 1 hour of our podcast really went by really fast. Thank you guys for watching. Go and click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to this channel if you are new. And after this live stream, make sure to check out my recent interview with Dr. Cameron Jack. Great chat. Very smart guy, and he did a great job on our chat on our podcast, the Wildwoods Beekeeping podcast. We try to do these almost every Monday night. I'll let you guys know if we don't do it. A lot of times I just go by without telling you guys. I'm gonna start letting you guys know if I don't, so you'll know what to expect. But next Monday we will not be doing it, Labor Day, but we will be expecting to do one after that, and we will be getting some more guests on. So thank you all for watching the stream, and with that, thank you all. Take care and God bless everybody.